G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. Today's video, we're going to be putting the car back together. We're going to be doing something very special, which is forged carbon graphite wrapping the roof. That'll get rid of two problems. It'll make it look awesome and it will fix the uneven paint on the roof. And we'll also get to fire the car up, see what it sounds like with the intake and exhaust and the new intake plenum on there. Might even take it for a run, not sure yet. Since the last video, quite a lot has happened, although it doesn't look like much, but I've actually gone and made the wire harness adapter. So from there to the back underneath the car to the headers where it joins in the collector. I've changed the fuel filter. I've bled the coolant system, topped that up with brand new fresh coolant. We've got a brand new oil filter on the car, brand new oil. I've topped up the gear oil as well, just for peace of mind, gave that a change. I drained it all out and topped it all up. I even went to the wreckers this morning in the rain, in the mud. It's dried up now and it's all nice and fine. I decided to go there early, don't know why. It was a mud pit, but we got a new bonnet stay stick, so that's all good. I needed to get some little brackets that hold the globes in the back of the headlights, so I got those. So they're all sweet. Headlights are in, all the globes are in. I've gone around the back and started to put the interior together. So I've put in here the LED tail light globes for the number plates. I'll find some for the actual tail lights. The interior trim is all back in, seats are back in, and the subwoofer is back in. I'll have to check all the wiring to make sure that everything's plugged in, because when the car arrived, I didn't pump the subwoofer. I just went, oh, sweet, subwoofer, didn't even test it. So it's not working now, even though everything's all plugged in. I've tucked all the wires there. I've cranked everything up and it's definitely getting power. So I think it might not be connected behind the dash. Gonna stick some Pioneer speakers in there. These should fit in, no dramas. Pretty cheap, they're about $40, I think they were on eBay. So brand name, good quality speaker, two-way, replacing the paper ones that were in there, so that the next person can have some sick tunes when they are cruising. Overall, pretty happy with the car. I'm gonna take it for a little bit of a drive, make sure everything is sweet, test out the new Max Pitting Rod suspension. A lot of people have been inquiring about that. It looks fantastic, but I wanna see how it rides. As you know, I got the first set in Australia to try out, and they've been in the car now for about a week and a half, and it hasn't even left the garage. Got a friend of mine, Michael's coming over. He's gonna help me with that. He's managed to wrap his entire BMW, so when he gets here, we'll introduce him. He's doing it as sort of a side hustle, so if anyone local in Melbourne wants to wrap their car or part of their car, he's keen to get some business, so we'll talk about that later. I'll be pretty pumped to have all the interior back together and it looking like a car again. It's been pulled apart and everything for ages, and it just, yeah, it's not a good sight. I want to be able to get into the car and it feel like a car. My missus was out here early this morning. She's vacuumed the entire car, done a really, really good job, spent about an hour vacuuming it, so that's mint. We won't do it again once we're ready to sell the car. And she's given the interior a wipe over to get most of that dust and stuff off that was in there, so that's looking pretty sweet. I'll pop back once the door trims are on and the stereo's installed. All right, so where I've gotten to so far is all the interior's back in the car. The speaker is in on this side, so that's all sweet. Door panel's back on, all the seats and everything are back in. What I do have though is my friend Michael behind me. I've known Michael for a couple of years, actually met him when I moved down to Melbourne, helped me move house, and that's how we got chatting. Michael does a bit of everything, a bit of a jack of all trades. Yep. He's actually wrapped his own car. So who better to help me wrap my car than someone who's done an awesome job like this. So he's wrapped his E36 BMW all by himself. And that was his first ever crack at wrapping a car, and it turned out awesome. Absolutely love the color.
G'day guys, my name's Mike. I've come to help Turbo Tristan out with his wrap today.
You did a bloody awesome job. What made you choose this colour?
Something different. I just want something new. I haven't seen too many blue like Saturns going around. I've only ever seen one car in Melbourne. And ever since I saw that car, I fell in love with the colour, and you know, I thought I'd give it a go on my E36.
How long ago did you wrap your car?
We're going on about probably a month right now, I reckon.
So if someone wants to get their car wrapped, how do they find you?
Mike.onlyfans on Instagram, boys. That's all I can say.
Mike.onlyfans on Instagram.
Yep.
Do you do OnlyFans?
Nah, only cars.
Only cars, only thermo fans. So what are we wrapping today? Tell us about it. I picked the colour and the trim, but you're the expert, so.
Oh, coming to be, but today we've got a forged carbon fibre wrap. This is the more expensive, the Hexus 3000 range. So we're going to be using this on the roof and the hood of the Civic. And this is the colour that Tristan's decided to go with, and as you guys can see, it's got a nice texture to it. It's quite different to the normal carbon fibre wraps, so you know, you probably won't see too many cars going around with this pattern very recently anyways.
Hopefully going to start a bit of a trend with that, because carbon fiber's been done to death, and all the exotic cars and all the modern cars come out with forged carbon anyway, which is why I wanted to do it. I was thinking of just a gloss black roof, but then I couldn't do a gloss black bonnet because that would just look dumb, I reckon. So at least forged carbon is kind of cool, kind of racy inspired. So we're going to do that. The reason why, if you hadn't watched the other videos, is whatever was on this paint beforehand has just made it really difficult to get an even finish on the paint on both the roof and the bonnet. So even though it is painted with brand new paint and 2 or 3 coats of clear coat, it just kept frying and sizzling up underneath. So it made a sort of a mottled effect or a blotchy effect. So it's all been sanded back now, wet sanded with 2000 grit sandpaper. So it's smooth as glass, even though it looks a bit dull at the moment. We could always polish the car up and cut and buff it and live with it, but it's going to bug me, and I know it's going to bug the next person having that sort of mottled effect. Done a bit of a test here, and he's done the corner. So it's going to wrap and stick really, really well.
Yeah, just want to make sure that it's going to stay up in there and that it sticks underneath, especially on the corners. The corners are the most important part, guys, because when it comes and it gets hot, what's going to happen is that the wrap's going to start to peel back. So you want to make sure that you stretch it over the corners in a way that when you do post heat it, it'll come back and it'll just fit in perfectly. That's a perfect corner, and I've post heated it and that did not come back. So this should last quite well. But this is just a test, so I'm probably going to be doing a little bit more wrap, maybe up around this area, and bring it more into the line.
All right, so we're not going to bore you with the exact full process, but we're going to clean this surface again, use some alcohol stuff to get it all totally clean, oil-free, everything, so it has the best chance of sticking. You're going to see us do this wrap in a time lapse, both of us together. I'm going to be the apprentice today. If you love the way this turned out, make sure you head over to Mike's Instagram and send him a DM, slide into his OnlyFans DM and just ask him if you want any cars wrapped if you're in Melbourne. are pretty much done. Looking awesome, mad textured finish. That is a wrap, and that's a wrap. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. It's modern.
I'm pretty happy with it.
It's something unique that no one else has. You definitely spot this car a million miles away.
This will be all covered by the rubber as well, so this will be hidden, you won't see it.
Well, I'm pretty happy with that. Michael's done an awesome job. Don't forget to check him out, mike.onlyfans on Instagram.
Yeah.
Looking to pick up a couple of jobs, wrapping, can be anything, doesn't have to be a Honda Civic, can be any car or really anything. So he's pretty darn good at it. And yeah, looking to get some work around southeast Melbourne and just do a few wrap jobs. So if you know anyone that wants to, you know, wrap their roof, wrap their entire car, he can do all of that sort of stuff for you. Yep. Links in the description. It's the next day, had a couple of mates drop by last night. As you'll see, Voda Tang's K24 swapped EK sedan is what dreams are made of, really. Recaro seat, aftermarket steering wheel, slammed on some genuine Workmeisters. K24, engine bay painted, everything just looks mint. So, you know, that's goals right there. So I'll drop a clip in of that right now. My mate Voda turned up, who was actually the one who sold me the wheels for the car. I saw them on this car once upon a time and I had to have them. So this is what he's rocked up in. Harlequin engine bay, EK sedan on some work rims, slammed and K-swapped. Freaking hell, this, I hope it looks as good on camera as it does in real life, because man, you could, I just want to lick this engine bay. Looks so good. K-tune headers, all the gear, cold air intake, skunk manifold, hybrid racing gear everywhere. It's like all the brand name parts. Looks so mad. Recaro, it's on E85 as well. It's got the tail lights that I wanted for my sedan. Just such a tidy, clean car. Silver as well. Man, looks good. Far out. Now I have to get my sedan out and get it looking and driving and going this good. Initially, I didn't want to have any wrap on the car. Wraps can look pretty tacky in my opinion, if not done right, but I think having a forged carbon wrap is something very unique, something very cool. It's a pretty miserable day, but I'm going to put it out in the sun. We can have a look at it now. So here's the car out in the sun for the first time. Just warming up. I'm about to take it for its first hit on the new Max Peating Rods coilovers. Looking pretty mint, pretty immaculate. Funny pattern is the water reflecting off the ground back onto the bumpers. But yeah, it's looking pretty mint. How's the stance too? I haven't touched the coilovers, I haven't begun to set them up yet. Around the corner, a little quiet street, giving it a hit. Sounds pretty mint with the pod. Definitely not a ball breaker, that's for sure. Bit of lim. Still bedding in the brakes, so can't go too spastic. Give it a bit more lim. Road wasn't long enough. We have a speed bump here, so we'll test out the Max Speeding Rods coilovers, a new addition. Solid, bound, rebound, all that sort of stuff works fine. Handbrake works. That was a sub rolling around in the back. Not bad. This will be fun on the track. Certainly nothing crazy or overly fast. Makes all the right noises. So some fresh oil and a good service means we can beat on it at the track. Certainly feels nice and stable on the road. Those coilovers are pretty awesome, gotta say. Be good once we get some sway bars underneath. So great news is I've got an EK4 sway bar coming, and I've got a standard EK4 front sway bar. So big upgrades coming soon. Ready in time to go to the track, so that'll be mad. Do it for the first test drive. Well, that brings us to the end of another video. Next up on the channel for this car will be cutting and buffing, figuring out why the sub doesn't work, changing out the dash cluster to one with a rev tacho, hopefully fitting some front and rear sway bars, changing all the globes to LED inside the car, just making sure everything works and is tidied up, ready for the track. Change the spark plugs, paint and seal the rocker cover with some 2K clear. We've also got to put on the front lip spoiler, and after that get the exhaust done and finished. So it's going to be still plenty of action on the channel. Let me know your honest opinion about the forged carbon wrap. My first choice would be to not have any wrap on the car and have a nice glossy silver, but we all know what happened with that, sending the car out to someone else to paint, and then me having to rub all that paint off and fix it again, which is less than ideal. I would have loved to have had the car all nice, high gloss, brand new silver paint, as close to brand new looking as possible. It is a budget build after all, so I think this is an awesome compromise. I think Michael did an awesome job on the wrap, so shout out to Michael. Once again, don't ask me about his choice of Instagram page name. OnlyFans, I don't know about that, but go hit him up, Mike.onlyfans. I'll put a link in the description. He is looking for some jobs to do, wrap anyone's car. He does a really, really good job, takes a lot of pride in his work, so go hit him up, give a guy some work, and hopefully it'll start a new career in wrapping for him. But I'm really happy with that. The pod sounds awesome, the intake's awesome, the suspension is awesome. It's just coming together, this car. It's going to be a really tidy cruiser. Once that's all cut and buffed and polished, it's going to look absolutely mint. So until next time, thanks for watching. Spool up, bring the boost, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.